happening in the world currently without football, as it's all on hold across the world, including, it looks like, the Euros. It looks like that's going to take a backward step. But I want to know just what the England football team will look like in 10 years' time. So let's waste no more further ado. And with the help of Football Manager 2020, we're going to find out. That's right, folks, back once again with another time travel movie where we jump forward 10 years and we're going to take a little look at the England setup, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Football Manager 2020 related, whoa, football related, we're all here. So here we are. This is the actual, or the most recent England squad. I'm going to just remind you of some of the names that you could look out for that could still be in the setup 10 years from today. We're looking at Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, and Dino Hendo. Doesn't even have a picture on the old England website. So those were the goalkeepers that were last called up by matey boy. Ben Chilwell, Maguire, Danny Rose, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Tyrone Mings, Kieran Trippier, Tomori, obviously at Chelsea, Stones, Declan Rice, Mason Mount, Winks. A lot of youth in here, so they could still be in the pecking order. We are looking at guys that, you know, the 18-year-olds, the youngsters. So the likelihood of Kane being in there is very slim. Rashford could still be there. You just don't know. So these are the familiar names. But who out of this lot will still be here in 10 years' time? So in this simulation, we are using Football Manager 2020. This is prior the time travel. So we're going to take a little look at England before we do that, just to see what the game has listed as the England team at the time being. So here we are, 2019. That's not what I want to see. I want to see the squad. Here it is. Here is the squad. I'm going to rank it in position order. As Butland, Pickford, and Pope. Obviously, Pickford and Pope are recognised in the real world. And then we have the likes of Phil Jones. He wasn't in there. Harry Maguire was, those Stones. Smalling, who is on loan at Roma in this prior to the old time travel. Trent is in there, of course. Danny Rose was there. Chilwell was there. Hendo was there. Winks. Sterling, Kane, Rashford. So a lot of familiar names are in there. But how many of these will remain 10 years' time? So realistically, we can see Butler will be 36. Goalkeepers kind of peak around about 32. So you never know. He might be in there. Pickford, again, he's a year younger than Butler. So again, if Butler has any right to be in there, so does Pickford. Nick Pope, though, is 1 year older than Butland. Phil Jones, 27, he'll be 37. Doubtful he'll be there. Doubtful I'll see Harry Maguire there. John Stones could still be there. You never know. Then from there down. In fact, let's rank this actually in age order. Who will definitely be in and out? So the likes of Chris Morwin, he ain't going to be there for sure. Neither will Carl Walker. Jordan Henderson won't be there. Danny Rose will not be there. Very highly unlikely. Phil Jones, Callum Wilson, Nick Pope will definitely not be there. Harry Maguire, yeah, you're clutching at straws of a 36-year-old. Harry Maguire is going to get in the lineup as well. Jack Butland, again, like I said, he might be. Harry Kane, he is 25 before the simulation or the time trial takes place. He'll be 35 again, or maybe a little bit older because we're going to 2030 perhaps. So we'll see. And then the likes of Eric Dyer, maybe. We're going to be very, very highly unlikely that a lot of these players. You're looking maybe at Harry Winks, potentially could still be in there. Dele Alli could be there. Ben Chilwell, Gomez, Marcus Rashford, and Trent. So these guys down here are the ones that you could see. But let's, for a bit of a more clear observation, these are some of the players that could make it. We're looking at Mason Greenwood, who'll be 27. He'll be in his prime. Saka as well for Arsenal. He could be in the lineup. Callum Hudson-Odoi is only 18 years of age. Of course, he has the coronavirus, so stay clear of him for the time being. Nathan Ferguson, obviously at West Brom. Smith Rowe from Arsenal. Sessegnon will be 29. Ryan Brewster will be 29. So a lot of these guys, they are familiar names with us. Declan Rice will be 30 as well. Aaron Ramsdale, goalkeeper, has been sought after in the real world on the books at Bournemouth. So a lot of these guys, you could see these in the simulation 10 years from today. But let's waste no more time jibber-jabbering about it. Let's take a look at it, shall we? Let's hop in the time warp and find out. Here we are, folks. 11 and a bit years, maybe 10 and a bit years, whatever it is. But we fast forwarded 2030. The Euros eventually did take place. The World Cup in Qatar did take place. And much, much more than that. Looks like Steven Gerrard was hired and, of course, fired by Liverpool. But what we want to find out is what's going on in the England setup. So we're going to punch that in. They might have won the World Cup back-to-back for all I know. So we'll have a little look at England. We're going to punch them in there like that. And there we go. So the manager of England at this moment in time is Luciano Spalletti. He is an Italiano and he is in charge of England. The captain is Trent. He's there, boys. He made it 10 years from today. The vice captain is his opposite number. Well, not really his opposite number, but Phil Foden from Manchester City. And then we've got a key player, Tim Atali, who's a regen, who's come on in. And yeah, he's done very, very well. The key players around the world, as you can see here down this little cluster. Jadon Sancho still knocking on the door. Phil Foden, Marcus Rashford. And then we have 3 players who do not exist. So let's take a closer look at the current or the most recent squad for England. So we're going to start with El goalkeeper, Marcus Dewhurst, Rob Howson, and Ryan Pardo Roques. Now I did do a 10 years in advance look at Blackburn Rovers not too long ago, and this was an ex-Rovers keeper. So, but he actually plays for Man United. Again, these are all regens. I believe Marcus Dewhurst could be an actual real player. Let's take a closer look at him. Starts the game off at looks like he starts the game off at Sheffield United. Eventually gets the breakthrough in the Championship, and then it goes on from there. It goes to Chelsea in big money. Spends a little loan on Toulouse, and he's now Chelsea's number 1, and he is now England's number 2 behind, or maybe even 3. Tomori makes it. Yes, right. He's 32 years of age. He's a recognised right back for England as well. 49 caps. So Fikayo Tomori, obviously formerly of Chelsea. He does get a big money move to Manchester City for £56 million in the 2022-23 season, and then he's there. There seems to be a regular right back for Manchester City, and then most recently just get a transfer to Southampton, but he's still within the England reckoning 10 years from today. Trent, of course, still with Liverpool forever present. He ain't going anywhere. Again, an established right back, 109 caps at 31 years of age. Probably got 2 or 3 years left in him, if I'm completely honest with you. Look at that, 7+ the whole time. So he ain't mucking about. He ain't too bad, is he? Victor Carlson, never heard of him. Let's get these ages up here. We want to look at the older boys. That's what we're interested in. So Tammy Abraham, he's at PSG these days, ranked at £41.5 million. He's wanted by Wolves in the real world. He's got 66 caps, 31 games. Not bad. It's a one every two man for England. Let's have a look at what he went on in his back history. So he was on Swansea back in the day. That was in the real world. He went to Villa as well, scoring goals as well. Then he was in Chelsea's lineup for the couple of seasons before getting a loan move to Inter Milan. He scored 9 goals in his loan season before they decided to make the deal permanent, £47 million. Inter snapped him up, and then he sold him again, pretty much double the money for PSG money bags. And again, he's done pretty well. Not ripping it apart, but he's getting double digits for all intents purposes. He is now 32 in this world. He's getting on a bit, but he's there. So Tomori we looked at, Alexander Arnold we looked at, Mason Mount's in the team, and he's 31 years of age. He now plays at FC Bayern, obviously formerly of Chelsea as well, in that breakthrough season, getting 11 goals in his 35 games, 2019. So that was 10 years ago. Then he stayed at Chelsea before getting a big money move to Bayern, and he's been there ever since. And he's not had the greatest seasons. He's just gone over 7 on average for a couple of seasons, including the most recent. So pretty good for Mason Mount. Eddie Nketiah is now at Manchester City, 31 years of age. He's actually wanted by Wolves as well. They're trying to gobble up the talent, despite getting on in a little bit. So Nketiah was at, or whatever you say it, I don't know how you say it. Obviously, he had a couple of games in the first season, and then eventually breaks through to be a regular for Arsenal, getting double digits as well for 3 seasons. Has a little off season, perhaps an injury on this one, and again gets back to double digits before Manchester City stump up the money, £40.5 million to try and take him over to the Etihad. So he makes it. Max Aarons makes it as well, but he's now on the books at Manchester United, formerly of Norwich. He's just made the move, £57 million from Norwich, who have remained in the Premier League despite looking a little bit wobbly in their opening season. He's been a very good defender as well, right back. And again, Man United spending big money on him. Raheem Harper, ex-Rover, now on the books at Schalke. We had him a season on there. He's only played 4 games, got red carded in one of them, and that kind of put the end to it. But he has a good couple of seasons at West Brom before Man United stump up £17 million for him. And again, he's only on a fringe player at Man United before Schalke gobble him up, and he's been phenomenal for Schalke, and he's now in the England reckoning, and he's 30 years of age, so he's got a couple, maybe 2 or 3 seasons left. Ryan Sessegnon is in the team, and he's doing very well for himself. 50 caps for Spurs. He had a little loan at Schalke. That was his only little blip. Actually, a breakthrough season for Schalke. And he comes back, and he's been forever stronger, the player for Spurs, eventually becoming a first-team winger. Double digits as a goal scorer as well. He finally gets to the sort of standard that we all respect him to be, or expect him to be. Phil Foden as well. Now in the books at Arsenal. Eventually got sick and tired of playing second fiddle or youngster at Manchester City. Eventually makes the move to the Gunners for £35 million. That's a bargain in these days. Double digits for him ever since he left Manchester City. 18 goals, 13 goals, 14 goals. He's been a nice, well-rounded player. And again, 30 years of age. He's got 93 caps, 20 goals to his name already. And he's got 2 or 3 seasons left before it quids in. Jude Bellingham as well is in there, and he's only 26. He's now in the books at Liverpool. Yes, he does make the move from Birmingham to Fulham. That's a bit of a bizarre one. He does give Birmingham a few seasons before cashing in on him. Liverpool have just gobbled him up a couple of seasons back. He's not really exploded onto the scene, but he's still 26 years of age. He's still got 2 years before he reaches his prime. That's the sort of player that we've been looking for on this one. And that's pretty much it. Let's have a look at the some of the records over the years. In fact, maybe do we have a best 11? Okay, so the overall best 11, we're not really focused about that. So, yeah, in fact, let's go back and look at that. Actually, Mason Greenwood, he'll be still in his prime, 28 years of age. He's still in the England fold, I'm pretty sure. Let's have a closer look. International. He wasn't called up this season. He wasn't called up last season. There he goes. That's his last game for England back in the 27-28 campaign. Down here you can see 1 cap, 1 goal for England. So he's still in the fold, and he's just not been it's not been exploding onto the scene at Man United, but he's still worth a bucket ton load of cash. So that's the overall 11. Harry Kane's in there, Perry, whoever this Perry fella is, Sterling, Gomez, Morris, again a name that we're not familiar with. But that's the overall best 11 for England. So the last season, Atale, again a player that we don't know of. He is a regen, so I'm not really fussed about that. Hubbard, again, another one we're not really fussed about. So let's go back another season. Nikitaya up there with Rashi. Chowdhury gets a couple of games for England. 32 years of age now, still playing. He's actually at the books of Leicester, but he's going to join AC Milan in this transfer window. And again, players that we're not familiar with in the lineup. Just 7 years into the future, and it's Rashi, a regular, alongside Greenwood and Tammy Abraham, Phil Foden, Chilwell, still in the team at that point. Perry leads the line. Harper's there. Gomez again. We've gone back once. It's Jadon Sancho. Yeah, so Tunzabi, he does get a few caps for England as well. Now in the books at Wolves, 32 caps for Tunzabi. Again, former Man United player. Gomez, Chilwell, Rashford, Sancho. So the squad for the World Cup in Qatar would look like this. Is a bit of Brucey bonus for you. So it looks like Pickford will remain number 1 going into Qatar. Chilwell left back, Maguire, Stones, and Wan-Bissaka at right back. Sancho, Raheem, Harper, Henderson, and Sterling alongside Tammy Abraham and Harry Kane. That's the lineup there. On the bench we have Calvert-Lewin. He does eventually break through to the England squad. He's on the books at Leicester still, 33 years of age. 2 caps, 2 goals. He's one of those 2 cap wonders or 1 cap wonder. He actually has tremendous sort of output for Leicester once they gobble him up from West Brom. Double-digit man, and still playing 10 years into the future. The player I was looking at here the most I was concerned or interested was who was it? Sancho. Where's he at now? So he went to Chelsea from Dortmund for £97 million, and he's still, how old is he now? He's 30, so still in his prime as well. So this will be the lineup expected to be the team that walks out in 2022. How have England got on actually in the competitions? Let's take a closer look at it now, shall we? Let's take a look at the European Championship 2020. The Euros, they lost in the quarterfinals whenever it takes place. So 4 years later, they lost in the quarterfinals to France, and then they lost to Ukraine in the second round. So it doesn't get any better for England in the Euros anyway. What about the World Cup? Well, they lifted the World Cup in 2026 after beating Ukraine. Goodness gracious me. So actually, it looks like the 2022 World Cup doesn't even take place. What goes on there? That's a great. Do they actually qualify? Maybe they don't qualify. Yeah, let's take a closer look at that. What's gone on there? Schedule, senior squad. According to this, France actually win the 2022 World Cup. So it does take place. The next one looks to be in Spain, and England are the champions. That's according to this anyway. So the future is bright for England. It might not be quick time. Who is the manager? It is Luciano Spalletti. Let's take a look at the previous managers. So Southgate lasts 4 years, maybe just shy of 5 years before he's sacked, and then up steps Ginger Mourinho for 6 years. Does he win the World Cup? Do not tell me. Do not tell me. Flipping Sean Dyche wins the World Cup. 58 years of age at this point. What's he won? Milestones. Oh my goodness! How goodness gracious! It could not have happened to a flipping weirdo, flipping the six-fingered banjo-playing weirdo, Sean Dyche, the Ginger Mourinho, wins the World Cup with England. I could not have written this myself. It should have been Tony Mowbray in charge, but anyway, he is now manager. He was manager of Everton. He got binned off, it looks like, so he's unemployed and scouring the market. But anyway, that is England for tea, folks. Will it happen? Well, you have to wait and see, folks. Well, you have to wait and see. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up. If you're new, smash the subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow with another futuristic look at the world of football as we wait through this silence that's going around the world as the coronavirus grips hold of the football. Anyway, until then, bang the thumbs up, bang the subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.